Jeremy, I'm glad we're getting another chance to talk and rate some rooms. Let's see. We talked in the first episode about the safeties. I think you gave them for this year a B, up from a C minus. You talked about the cornerbacks in episode two. The cornerbacks, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to review all these and remember them all, but the cornerbacks, you said were an A minus last year, an A plus this year. That's
Awesome.
giving a lot of credit. Linebackers a B last year, a little bit better at a B plus, being conservative this year. Where do you want to head now?
Well, I guess the only place to head, and that is the defensive line.
Yeah, defensive line. Oh my God, they look good. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's go to last year. Who do you want to talk about from last year and what grade do you want to give them?
I want to say that last year we were a B plus defensive line and a very strong one. I can make an argument for A minus, but I feel that I can very solidly defend that we were B plus. I think Quinton Williams obviously is the biggest reason why you're going to have a good score. I think part of the problem was that it took too long for them to get Bryce Huff activated. We spent the first 5 or 6 games with no Bryce Huff, and people are forgetting the reason it's not an A is it wasn't all 17 games. The first portion of the season, the defensive line was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't dominating. It wasn't creating enough. And there was a little bit of a breakdown there at the end. So to me, if you want to, talk about a defensive line being an A plus defensive line, you've got to do it all year. You've got to do it consistently throughout the entire season. I think that obviously part of what hurt them was being on the field too much. But at the end of the day, I can't ignore the fact that there were breakdowns in the defensive line where it didn't hold up to be an A defensive line, but very, very strong. I think Quinton Williams was great. Carl Lawson was not his full self yet. It was his first year back from Achilles. So, he did fine, and we're happy that he stayed healthy. And he definitely got some pressures, caused some disruption, but he wasn't the full guy that we initially signed when we signed him as a free agent. Bryce Huff was a nice surprise. It took too long to get him in. I think that Jermaine Johnson and Clemens, the rookies, were pleasant surprises, but overall, as just an impact, nowhere near the impact they're going to have as they gain more experience. I think specifically, and we'll talk about it, Jermaine Johnson, because Michael Clemens is already older. He started as a 24-year-old, big guy. So I don't know if you're going to see the same growth, although he's a very, very solid depth.
He's a beast.
He brings intimidation. He's a very solid guy. He's great on special teams. I mean, he's a really, really good player for someone we got in the fourth round. And considering where he is on a defensive line, deep on the depth chart, it's pretty outstanding and spectacular. So there's a lot of excitement coming into this year with those guys. And then of course we add more with Will McDonald. And I didn't even mention JFM. So the defensive line is definitely the strength of this football team. And I think by getting Al Woods, by getting Jefferson, Solomon Thomas even looks better this year. When you look at the 10 guys we have, and you can make an argument that out of the edges, Clemens is the worst, which is ridiculous because Clemens could be a starter for other teams. The depth is beyond anything I have ever seen on an NFL football team. I've never seen 10 names like this, where even if you go to the bottom of the list to the number 10, who are you going to say? Solomon, Solomon Thomas is still a good player, and then it's just crazy how good this defensive line is. And when you throw Will McDonald on top of it, and then the growth, the explosion of Jermaine Johnson, which we're seeing in camp, we're seeing in preseason games. But not only is he going to be great, like as a rookie, he was great at sealing the edge, but now we have a pass rush specialist. I mean, this kid is explosive. And then Will McDonald, now we all know why we drafted him after watching him. It is absolutely just out of control how good this defensive line is. To me, it's an A plus this year.
On top of that, and this is what I'm really excited to see, it's what Salah talked about today, that you're going to have your players that go 60% of the downs, But if they need any kind of rest at all, they're coming out and boom, fresh, great guys are going in, and there's no rest for the offensive lines against us because no matter who we put out there, they're fresh and they're powerful. A plus all the way, baby. I'm totally with you. B plus to A plus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just imagine you're driving, you're going, having to block, Jermaine Johnson, and then you're starting to tire down. Your team managed to get a first down or two. Now it's been a bunch of plays, and suddenly you look up and it's no longer Jermaine Johnson, Bryce Huff, who has the fastest get off in the NFL, and now you have to quickly jump back and react to his speed and the speed in which he jumps off. It's absolutely ridiculous. You almost feel sorry for him, almost.
I don't feel sorry for anybody.
No, no.
So in every room, you've upgraded the Jets. Even
Yeah,
they were a number 5 defense,
yeah.
and they deserve that. They deserve that. And
Oh,
you are
absolutely.
saying that these A rooms, A minus have gone to A plus, B pluses have gone to you. Are you saying they're the number 1 defense in the league, buddy?
I'm saying they have an equal chance to be number one with two other teams. I think it's between San Francisco, the Eagles, and the Jets. And I think we have an equal one-third opportunity to be the number one defense in the NFL.
So overall, A.
Overall, an A.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
agree.
if you're a top five defense, you're an A.
And it makes me really excited. It makes me want to say,
Go.
go Jets!